Thank you for taking the time and checking this out. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel, or just welcome to this now. I'm Jane, and I appreciate you taking the time and checking this out. Like, it means a lot to me. So I wanted to talk about a couple things that have come up. So we just had Thanksgiving, and I find that to be such a very strange holiday. But I feel also like the way it's being defined and celebrated is shifting. Before it was like basically celebrating stealing people's land and killing them or whatever. And it's shifting to like celebrating a day of gratitude while honoring those whose lives were actually taken, as opposed to celebrating kind of like the takers. So anyway, I wanted to talk about something that some people have kind of written in about and kind of what's been going on that I've been witnessing. So I feel like we are pulling in this fifth dimensional reality through us. You know, we are, more and more people are woke and living from that space of awokeness and truly like living a higher self reality in a third dimensional matrix, kind of. So at least third dimensional density. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, that feels better. Yeah, it's like we're living in this third dimensional density, right? Like we're still in this like form, we're still human, I still have the stuff and things, but like the self that is living through me is like my higher self. And as I work with people to integrate their higher self into their for real, legit human experience, there's like some very basic parameters, boundaries, grace that goes around this fifth dimensional aspect of ourselves that kind of keep us contained and keep us, I'm gonna say safe, because it keeps like the negative vibes out, man. It actually keeps the lower densities from becoming a part of our reality that we've worked through or released or whatever thus far. So something that's come up that I want to touch on that someone had written in about, so thank you. Y'all, by the way, thank you for like writing in and like sending me messages and stuff. I find it very fun and fascinating because then it's like I get to have like inspirational things to talk about and like in a timelier fashion, you know. So thank you for writing in and stuff. And also, if you're hearing my super awesome aligning tunes, I'm listening to Smile. I use it for my meditation. I use it for working with clients. I use it in groups to do sound healing and guided meditations when I take them on like big astrally projected journeys and all the fun stuff. So if you're interested in deepening your meditation and having like for real some healing frequencies vibing around your home or in your earphones, there are links and you can click on them below, and there's also a discount, so you'll get like 40% off or something crazy. It's totally amazing, totally worth it, highly recommend. The one I'm listening to now is the chakra tune-up one, I think. Anyway, so something that keeps coming up, and I feel like as we continue going through the rest of this year, we're gonna have many opportunities to pull into this reality, this component of our fifth dimensional aspect. And it is the vibration of acceptance. Find it very interesting. So some of the questions and concerns and challenges have been around those who say our family, right? It's like holiday time, we're seeing more family, we're going to other people's families' homes, and they may be in a timeline that we're still not in agreement with. Maybe we've transcended the reality that we grew up in, right? So we're like vibing high, we've had these experiences, and maybe we go back to home and then they're not. You know, maybe, you know, Uncle so-and-so's still drinking and being racist in their jokes. Perhaps you know, you go and all they do is they talk about politics, and they just fight and fight and fight and fight and fight about who's wrong and how bad life sucks, you know. Or perhaps you go and no one listens to anyone. They just talk. Or maybe you go and no one talks at all. Maybe you go to be in community and family and tradition and celebration, and everyone's just watching the television. And it could be a bunch of billions of things. So these are just some examples that I just came with. So when we go into these situations, so I'm going to use this holiday time as the kind of like the scenario, but this goes with anything, y'all. Like, it goes to like whenever you leave your home, whenever you go in your home, whenever you're anywhere, because there are going to be people that are still in their timeline. They're still in their density. They're still in their consciousness. Wherever we go, there's going to be a myriad of people having their own experience, because that's the way it goes, right? We know this, but we get to now put this shit in action, right? We get to be the change so we can change the system. That's how we get to create this new earth, y'all, from the heart. Yay! So anyway, when we go into these environments, so we go to this family function, right? We go to this like Thanksgiving dinner, or we go to this like holiday shindig at grandpa's house or whatever. And they're in this timeline, and perhaps they're just not awake, as we would call awake. Perhaps they are not truthful feeling. Meaning, okay, so check this out. So when I work with people, I basically tune into their higher self. So whatever's coming through, whatever they share outwardly, if it's not in alignment with their higher self, the highest vibrational aspect, I feel the offness of it, okay? Now, in that awareness of that feeling of the offness, I can judge them and tell them that, I don't know, I could just judge them, and I could be frustrated. You know, I mean, really, I've done this before, so like this is definitely not new to me. You know, I've done this where it's like I go and someone is speaking their truth. Their truth is not necessarily of the highest of the highest. And I think that the way we can create this new earth is to like for real be in acceptance of it. And at the same time, not placate them and I'm gonna use the word support, but that's not the right word. I was gonna say and like not really support them. You want to support them, they're human, y'all. We're all human. But not encourage that lower vibrational heavy density, right? And so it's like we go into this holiday time, we go into like these big portal days that are coming up, y'all. We're gonna have some big energies coming in. That we get to find this dance of how to accept the person for where they are in their consciousness and timeline, while we're honoring where we are in our consciousness and timeline. Where we can allow them to speak, see and be heard, be seen and be heard, right? And at the same time, honoring ourselves the grace to be seen and be heard without reflecting projections of judgment. Rather, being the light and speaking from that space, and not from the righteous I'm right space, but in the righteous this is of the highest, this is what feels best for me space. Because y'all, we're all doing the best we can. Pretty much. We're all doing the best we can. Everyone is doing the best they can. And sometimes that looks like lying. Sometimes that looks like stealing. Sometimes that looks like fighting. Sometimes that looks like turning on a television and not turning it off ever, or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's where everyone is. And it takes a lot of alignment of this body, mind, and spirit that we are to be able to witness someone where they are and hold space for them, hold them up high, right? If you go to the function of family and Uncle whatever is still getting wasted and telling really shitty jokes, you know, and you expect it to just keep getting worse and worse and worse, we're holding them small. We're putting this ceiling over them that says, you're not going to vibrate higher than that because I don't believe in you. And that's a shitty thing to do, y'all. Quantum physics does that no service. The observer changes that which is observed. So if we look at the person as always being the drunk racist, then we're literally going to keep holding them in that lower vibrational light. Doesn't mean that I have to love the drunken racist jokes, because I don't, right? So then how do I stand up for where I feel the lightheartedness and not project judgment onto them, right? So perhaps I would say something like, here's some water. Drink the water. Drink the water. For real. And perhaps just share my own discomfort. You know, like, you know, hey, I honor that those jokes, that you find those jokes funny. And in my heart, they don't feel good. So if you're going to share a joke like that, will you let me know ahead of time so that I can leave the room? Because it literally brings me down that people are still sharing racist opinions and views. You know, that way the person can still make the decision to say the shit all they want and to drink all they want and to be the whoever that they've been for however long they've been. You know, maybe they've never had it reflected back in a way that is me holding myself up high, giving them some autonomy to like share, hey, forethought, I'm going to share a joke and it hurts my niece's heart or whoever's heart. Let me pause. And it may not, you know, but hey, it's putting a seed of light and of grace and boundaries in their reality. Whether they take it and plant it or do anything with it or not, that's up to them. But it's way better to me than just telling them that they suck and they shouldn't drink and just keep seeing them as the drunk uncle that says stupid shit, right? So yeah, everyone's on their timeline, y'all. And acceptance is, it's weird because so many times, you know, like when I've talked about acceptance, sometimes people are like, how can you accept what Trump is doing? I can't make an active, he won't answer the call if I call him, right? So like I can only do so much when it comes to certain things. But what I can do is go with my heart and do the things that are in alignment with that, which are completely incongruent with maybe some of the policies that are being passed by the Trumpolina. So if I do that and everybody else does that, we literally be the change that changes the system. You know, I mean, we do. So my encouragement to be the fifth dimensional higher self person in this reality that has this like keen sense of awareness and this astute aspect of themselves that has this like telepathic nature that, you know, has reverence to life, all life, you know. And then you go to the family thing that, you know, they have like the giant dead animal that they're going to eat. I saw this video, y'all. So, you know, Thanksgiving here, we traditionally as a culture eat all these turkeys. And I have a friend that has a nonprofit, and they take food to food insecure areas. And they get food from like grocery stores that like they can't sell anymore. Yeah, they got like, I don't even know, like a truckload of frozen turkeys because they didn't all sell. And I'm like, that's a truckload of dead animals. Like, that's a truckload of animals that were killed to feed this lack mentality. Craziness. Anyway, it'll feed a lot of people, and I'm really grateful for that. I am excited about that. It's just weird. Anyway, so I saw this video. So, you know, we spent yesterday like, oh, turkey, abundance, gratitude. And then like a video today of all these like Black Friday bullshit specials, which is so the program. And people were like fighting and like clawing each other's eyeballs out of their faces and like trampling over them, feeding the lack mentality. Like, how much of a system are they still plugged into? I was one of them. So many people have been in that program that so many people are still in. So when we go to these holidays, being able to witness that there are just some people still in a whole other program. They just are. And it's not necessarily fun. It doesn't necessarily bring us light. And then there's this also beautiful reminder that the they is you. That there is no they. That we're all one. It's just different aspects of us, these beautiful divine beings floating around in this human form in different timelines of expression. Some of us are liars and thieves, and we fight and we scream and we hate. And some of us love and are stewards to the land and are of service to all that is. And some of us like to be in joy and creativity on all of the nows. And there are some of us that are in between and even further off of that spectrum. And it's all okay. That's where the acceptance piece drops in, grounds down, and then we walk as such. Because we can talk about it all the time, and we can just be awake in our meditations all the time. But when we go out there and we go to like relatives and friends' houses and families and all this stuff, and we have to go to the store to buy toilet paper, which I need to buy toilet paper, and I didn't think I was gonna have enough today, and I was like, holy crap. Toilet paper joke. If I have to go to Target on Black Friday, because that's like the option where I am right now, I was like, I don't want to do it. And then I found toilet paper. I was so excited. Yes! Didn't have to go to Target on Black Friday. It was like, winner! So excited. For reals. But anyway, we get to honor where everyone is. And the more of us that be the fifth dimensional aspect, the more we become inspiring because we show that it's safe. The only reason that we as a collective, that we as an individual haven't lived as our higher self is because we still had fear, right? The fear of being judged, the fear of being weird, the fear of lack. What if I do it and I'm not going to have enough? I'm not going to be enough. You know? Fear. When we show what it's like to just be the human that's living on the land, in community, taking care of each other and ourselves, and living in a joyful way, we show people that it's safe to not be tied to those cords of fear anymore. So we can or can't, it's up to you, but we can go through the season and totally 110% be in acceptance, still be in light, still share our voice of creative concern. You know, like, hey, that doesn't feel good. You know, like I was teaching a group today, and I don't know how it got brought up, but meat got brought up, and someone asked me if I eat meat, and I was like, yeah, usually not, you know. I don't label myself as anything, but you know, I don't enjoy eating animals very much. And they were like, well, what do you eat? Like, they like were baffled, and they were kind of like, what? Old aspects of me that still would have had that fear attached would have been like fear that they were judging me, and I probably maybe would have gotten defensive, and I probably would have said something still from my heart, but because it would be like defensive, it would have sounded kind of bitchy and righteous, you know? But today I got to say, well, it just doesn't feel good to me to eat animals. It just doesn't feel good to my heart. And then she was like, what do you eat? I was like, fruits, veggies, nuts, and beans. Anyway, and I didn't judge her, and then because I was just totally who I am in it and taking it all in light, you know, maybe she'll eat the next meal without me. I don't know, maybe I inspired her. Maybe she'll go and eat like a giant hamburger or meatloaf. I don't know, but I want to hold her on the high, what I consider to be of the high, right? Because it's all my perspective. To think, you know, maybe she'll be a little bit more open-minded to other foods that she could eat that aren't having to go into this system of this belief that we have to have only animal sourced proteins, you know, feeding into an education system that doesn't tell us that there are so many proteins in vegetables that we would thrive on. You know, just made me think about like how long it takes actually to digest animals. I don't want to have death inside of my body that long. I think that's just weird. I'd rather eat like light foods, food that still has light and life to it. Because I feel like then it's just going to go through and just like continue nourishing in a higher vibration all the time until it comes out, and then I can use the toilet paper that I found in the closet. Yes. Anyway, so hopefully this was inspiring, and it may seem like kind of like basic, but it is basic. Like the principle of just like acceptance is basic. But when you go into like real life situations, it's like, how the fuck do I be accepting when I really don't like what's happening? Well, you got to be creative about it, and you get to still be it. You just, and trust that everybody's in their timeline. And when people do act out and act a fool and lie and be a dick, I'm not saying that as like a bad divine masculine thing because I like penises. I'm just saying. Anyway, to be a jerk, I'm going to delete the dick comment. I'm not really going to like delete it on here because I don't know how. But like, I retract calling them a dick. I want to say jerk because I don't like using genitals to say bad things about people. It doesn't feel good. That's why I'm taking it back. Anyway. So that when people are being a jerk, we can still love them and hold them on high and see them as being able to vibe higher through a witnessing of us and the way we handle and be in that situation in front of them in real time, you know? And that is, to me, how to live a life in 5D, in a third dimensional density. So if you have any questions, comments, I would love to hear them. You can comment on here. You can send me a message in one of the links below. You can hit the button that has like a little thumbs up thing. I think it says like. You can subscribe. You can share this, whatever you want to do, whatever you're called to do to hopefully be the inspired change in the world that you want to see, that's in alignment with your heart. And if you want some like personal one-on-one stuff, reach out. It's what I do. If you have a certain space where you're like, okay, like I know I've done this work and I can feel that this is where my challenge is because I'm like real centered and it's not like I have to like heal all these traumas and shit, but I'm ready to move forward in a bigger way. I don't like, holla, I'm your girl. So anyway, I hope that you all have a marvelous rest of your now, wherever your now is. Hopefully that you are keeping warm wherever you are, keeping cool wherever you are, keeping chill, keeping toasty, cuddling up, and doing something fun and creative. And keeping your heart open and having a beautiful awareness of when instinctually, not even instinctually, habitually, the heart wants to like close off and be like, you all suck, I hate you guys. Ugh. To remember that it's safe to keep it open and to love and to be accepting of where everyone is, and to drop the seeds of where you have the strength and the sight to know where things can be more loving and more compassionate and more accepting. So you gotta be creative with all of this, y'all. It's the fun human bits. So anyway, thanks a lot for checking this out. I appreciate it immensely. May you all see the rest of your nows through this beautiful lens of love. It's a much more fun lens to look through. So anyway, I'll see y'all later.